Welcome to the Untitled GameZone podcast. We don't have a name for this yet. This is the first episode. We kind of hastily scrapped this together. I'm sure it'll become something a little more professional in the future. I'm Cade Onder. I am the editor-in-chief of GameZone.com, and this is...
I am Mike Splechta.
And what do you do?
Well, I'm sort of the contributor to the site, as it were. Mostly handle some of the reviews here and there.
You used to help kind of run the website, though, didn't you?
Yeah. Back in the day, I ran it. Then we sort of switched positions in our company, so now you're leading the reins. But I'm still happy to contribute here and there. Yeah,
I need it. It's hard. So. I mean, basic intro. I mean, I guess not many people. The site's kind of it's somewhat professional. There's not a lot of personality to it. I feel like at the moment, I'm working on changing that in a way. I don't by doing this primarily, but I'm Cade.
I mean, your Twitter game is strong. Yes, so at least Twitter if anything, that's where I feel like you're bringing out your personality the most. So
yeah, if you want personality, bad jokes, opinions, stuff like that, that's my Twitter at Cade_Onder, CADE_ONDER. Just a little background about me. I'm 18 years old. I started writing at GameZone when I was 15.
Oh man.
I don't know if that was legal. I don't know if I was supposed to do that, but they gave me an opportunity after I had been writing at some smaller sites for no pay. But I paid my taxes and stuff, so I was doing that. I was following the rules.
There you go.
But I've written over 2,000 articles now. I wrote 40 reviews in 2018 and stuff. It's hard. I'm a senior in high school, but hopefully,
balancing it pretty well.
Yeah, on the outside, on the surface, I'm sure it seems that way. On the inside, it's.
I mean, I'm sure to a lot of other 18-year-olds or even younger in high school, I'm sure they must think you have the dream job. Because if I was told to run a gaming website at that age, I'd probably go a little insane out of happiness. But
yeah, when I got offered the opportunity to run the website this year, I was like, okay, that's daunting, but I don't know anything about running a website. I just know how to write, and then I was kind of on my own. I think I've managed decently so far, and hopefully I keep doing so. But
definitely.
We have some plans for this podcast. That there's some interviews and stuff we'd like to do. We're not sure if it'll pan out, but we've been talking to some people that we'd be interested in having, some fairly big names, I'd say. I wanted to get them on for the first episode so we could have a big bang, but it didn't quite work out yet, so we're still working on it. But,
busy time right now, especially with
a busy time
with the Game Awards and all, which is just so happens to be the topic of the night.
Great segue. So I guess we should just jump right into it. The Game Awards just happened. Jeff Keighley holds this big thing every year and makes a big show. The Oscars for video games is what people call it. A lot of big awards given to the big games and a lot of big reveals. I think we're going to start with some of the reveals, and then we'll lead into the moments of the show, specifically awards and other standout moments. But let me look at the list here for what I had set up. So we're just going to jump right into it for some of the big reveals. Mortal Kombat 11. Mike, what do you think about Mortal Kombat? Do you play that series? Are you interested in it?
So I like Mortal Kombat. I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan by any means, but I do have to say that I really like the way they revealed it, because when Ed Boon came on stage to present best sports and racing game, I was like, what? Why? Why Ed Boon?
Yeah, it was so weird. I was like, they really undercut the actual award. I was kind of like, this is kind of fucked up. They're like, all right, we're gonna give out the award for best racing and sports game, and then he goes to show the nominees, and then Mortal Kombat shows up, and they have Scorpion and Raiden beating the crap out of each other while 21 Savage plays in the background.
Yeah, extremely gory. Like I thought each of them like died at least 5 times in that whole trailer. But
it was unreal.
Apparently they were all fine.
And ironically enough, that's a category for like games that are rated like E10, and they're showing probably the most brutal stuff of the night.
Oh my god, yeah, category. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Like, what is happening? This is such an inappropriate time, but it was kind of funny, so I dug that. And then the award went to Forza, and I don't think anyone really cared at that point. They were just like, "Did you guys see that Mortal Kombat game? Holy crap!"
I mean, I'm happy Forza got it, but it was. Yeah, it seemed a little completely undercut by that trailer. But I mean, good for them, because I think that was like a really, really cool surprise that like outside of like other leaks happening, no one expected this one. So that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I don't really care much for fighting games. I don't play Soul Calibur or anything like that really, but I love NetherRealm's fighting games. I love Mortal Kombat. I love Injustice, and I can't wait to play Mortal
I think
Kombat.
That's where I fall too. I'm interested in the way of like playing them very casually, but I would never touch like any sort of competition aspect of fighting games. Like even Super Smash, like I love the concept of Super Smash, but man, if I ever had to play against somebody, like I'm absolutely like garbage at it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. I didn't do I didn't even bother like trying to. I don't have the game, but I didn't even bother like reaching out to Nintendo for a review or anything, because I'm like, I suck at this game. I'm not going to be able to make a good review out of it. So like, I asked for it for Christmas, and if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't really care. But so yeah, Mortal Kombat is coming out in April,
and they're doing a reveal like a community reveal in January, right?
Yeah, yep. That'll be interesting. I'm sure they'll do their whole gameplay blowout and stuff, and I think they'll have like tournaments for professional players there to come try it out. One thing that kind of got swept under the rug with all this news, they're doing a Nintendo Switch version, which
I don't know where I saw that. Maybe it was on their Twitter or something, but that actually kind of surprised me also. Good for them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how well that'll do for like the online community. Obviously, if you're playing Mortal Kombat competitively, you're probably going to be playing with like the pro sticks and whatnot on the console or PC. But I mean, I just like the idea of being able to, pop out my Nintendo Switch in a car ride or something, get a couple games in, just like in single player even. Like I'm down for that.
Exactly. And it shows third-party support, which for Nintendo, that's always good. So
yeah, they're really killing it. I guess that's a pretty good segue into Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Man.
Which, who saw that? That's if you want to talk about something no one saw coming, like Mortal Kombat 11, I saw like a couple people were like, oh, I really hope they show Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, I don't know if they will. But Marvel Ultimate Alliance, no one's been talking about that series for like 10 years. I know they had those like remasters a few years ago.
Yeah, but they didn't even remasters. I don't even like I'm pretty sure all those reviews didn't even like score that well. I don't think it was that well received when they did those remasters. So I was no one saw this coming. Yeah, but it looked freaking good. I mean, granted, we didn't see it. Oh, we did see gameplay, a little bit of
gameplay. Yeah. It looks like it'll be using not exactly like, it's not using the Marvel Cinematic Universe like directly, but it's kind of pulling a little inspiration from that. With kind of what's hot right now with Thanos.
Yeah, the Black Order. Those are his minions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't quite know what they're doing with the story. It's not like an adaptation of the movie. It's something to do with the stones. It looked like I saw Green Goblin in there and Sandman and some other cool villains. So they're pulling from the comics and the movies and all sorts of stuff. It's developed by Team Ninja. Do you know who that is?
Yes, yeah. Team, yep. Yeah, and exclusive to the Switch, which that's insane. Like, good for them.
I wonder if they had to make a deal with Activision to get Ultimate Alliance, because
is that who re-released it when it was?
Yeah, they were the ones who they originally published it years ago, and then they're the ones who had the license when they
Oh yeah, because this is actually
republished it.
published by Nintendo. That's right.
So I wonder if there was some deals worked out, like, which is interesting. You would think they would just go, like, whatever, we'll just make a new Marvel game, because like Marvel has so many different group things that you can expand on. You don't need Ultimate Alliance, but someone must have been really adamant about Ultimate Alliance specifically if they really wanted that license. And I'm glad. I loved Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That was a good series. I know some people don't like 2. I never finished it, but I liked when I played it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good like Diablo clone-ish game with Marvel superheroes. Like that's kind of like a dream come true for Marvel fans. So and this art style looks really good. I'm glad they went like with the more like cel shaded cartoony style over like the more realistic that the first 2 games had. So
I'll be interested to see if they totally remove that like cover art style that they did with the 2 games, where it's like panels almost of the different characters on the cover.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. I want to see that in the 3rd one, but who knows? I think that's coming out. It didn't say a date, but it said like fall 2019. I
think sometime next year. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be eager to play that. Hopefully, I think I'm going to E3 this year, so I will be trying to get.
Would that be your first?
It'll be my first.
Oh man,
yeah,
it's a good time.
Yeah, except there's no Sony this year, which would bum me out when I heard that.
That's a bummer.
Like, you sons of bitches. But whatever. So not much else to say on that, because we don't really know much about it. They were pretty vague. I mean, they showed that trailer, but that was about it.
Well, can I just say it's weird? Like, this doesn't relate to that, but like, it was so weird that the Russo brothers came out and it wasn't in any way, shape, or form related to this or the movie. It was like they want what was it like? Fortnite won it, but I don't even know what the like best category
ongoing
was.
Game or something.
Oh, okay. So. Like, what a weird cameo to have by the Russo brothers, and everyone's like, "Oh man, they're gonna drop the trailer," and it was just a big dud.
I was like, I don't expect them to drop the Avengers 4 trailer, and obviously they did the next day. But like, I was like, they're not gonna show the Game Awards, like whatever. But I was like, maybe they'll be involved with the Avengers game,
the Square Enix one, right? Or wait, is it Square Enix?
Square Enix, yeah. Crystal Dynamics.
Oh, Crystal Dynamics, yeah.
That just, I'm convinced that game's just either they showed it literally the second they got the Marvel license and they just haven't had time to really make anything yet that they can show, or that game is like having trouble. I don't know what to make of it.
We've literally seen nothing outside of that first teaser, right?
Which is so bizarre. Like there's been some like rumors that maybe it's kind of like a online Destiny-like game or something, but I'm like, what kind of, which is like, if you want, they should come out and they need to like squash some rumors or like control the
or just give like an update, idea. Like, hey, this game's still alive, and just wait for an actual trailer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully at E3 this year. We keep saying like whenever there's a new event, maybe this time. Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was like some guy who worked on the game or like was closely tied to it who said there would be something this year, but I mean, we have like 20-ish days left in the year, so I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, probably not.
But about that Russo brothers thing, I found it funny they got him to come out and present ongoing game and not like best game direction or narrative or something like that. Like whatever,
completely unrelated.
I think it's just because they knew Fortnite was gonna win, and so they're like, all right, let's just have the guys who made Thanos in Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
Something that leaked ahead of the show by like a day or two. Well, actually, it was announced.
It didn't leak. It was officially announced.
Yeah, and then like a few hours before the show, like the whole thing leaked on Amazon and stuff. Far Cry New Dawn. We're getting a new Far Cry game. It's like a spin-off kind of like
new-ish
Primal.
Not like a numbered title.
It's not Far Cry 6. It's the first ever direct sequel, to my knowledge, in the Far Cry series. It follows the events of Far Cry 5, which I think depends only on your ending. I don't think it happens in all the endings, but I think the canonical ending is the bombs drop. Joseph Seed. Spoilers for Far Cry 5. I mean, like, is it even a spoiler at this point? Because, like,
when did that come out? It came out in March, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think but also, like, that's, like, the whole premise of this new game. So, like, whatever. The bombs drop after Joseph Seed kind of prophesizes that the world's going to end. And it's kind of vague if he's the one who maybe set off the bombs or, like, if he just was correct the entire time. But the bombs drop. You ended up like rushing to a bomb shelter with Joseph Seed, and you're trapped there until, you know, the dust settles outside. In this game, I don't think you're playing as your character from Far Cry 5. It's hard to tell. But basically, you're part of a little... How do you describe it? I'm
like a resistance, right?
Like, yeah, like kind of like a resistance, trying to like rebuild society in a way. And then there's other people.
Villain,
yeah,
or villains.
2 new villains. Yeah, twins, twin sisters who are trying to kind of conquer the wasteland. Ironically enough, the world looks very pretty after.
Yes, it really does.
A lot of people have actually drawn comparisons to Rage 2.
Yes,
visual style.
That's exactly what I thought too. Yeah, I'm all for post-apocalyptic games looking very pretty. I'm like the more color there is, the more I'm enticed to play it. So
me too.
Bonus points for that.
Yeah. So it'll be nice to look at, and you will be. I believe it's set in Hope County again, but they're expanding on it a little bit and going to other parts of America with these like expedition missions or something. So you're going to canyons, like coastal towns, which I assume means like Oregon and stuff like that. And Joseph Seed looks to be alive. It's set 17 years after Far Cry 5, from my understanding. So he's still he's still alive and he looks fine. So I don't know what's going on there, but maybe he was just really young in Far Cry 5. I don't know. I don't know what role he's gonna play. It doesn't look like he's a villain. It looks like he might actually be like kind of targeted by these people. Based on the cover art, there's like they're like throwing darts or something at him, or knives. Like he's like pinned up against something and they're throwing stuff at him, I think. So it looks like they might be trying to find him and, you know, get mad at him for causing the nuclear fallout.
Right.
But yeah, it looks fun.
Can I just say what a weird like time to announce this right after Fallout 76.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the post-apocalyptic survival game that like everyone is crapping on. And like this actually like looks really good. And I know this is not possible because obviously games take years and years to develop, but it's like it's like Ubisoft saw the response to Fallout 76 and they're like, hey, we can do this post-apocalyptic thing, and we can probably do it a little bit better. So everyone come to our game instead. And again, I know that that's no way that's possible. Sure. It's just the timing is just so funny on the announcement of this game. So
it couldn't have been in development for that long. I mean, like
right, because they're reusing a lot of the assets and stuff. Yeah.
So I imagine this probably went into development like over the summer or something. So I mean, maybe they saw like Fallout 76 and they're like, this game looks kind of bad.
it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I there's obviously a lot that goes into a game. Like they're probably not just gonna be like, we can make a good Fallout game. It doesn't even really look like Fallout,
Yeah, no.
It looks closer to Rage, but
yes.
Even then, it looks fun. I didn't like Far Cry 5. Did you like Far Cry 5? Did you play it?
I enjoyed it. I don't, not even sure. I'm not sure if I beat it.
Oh,
yeah, but I mean, I knew the endings and stuff like that, so no spoilers for me here. But I played like through, I want to say like 75% of it with a buddy of mine, and then I'm not sure if something came out or something, but we both just stopped playing it and we never like picked it back up. So, but I mean, in co-op it was fun, but I just don't think like if I was to boot that game up to play it solo, I probably wouldn't. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, that would have been around the time I think you probably like got God of War or something.
That is very possible.
I think that's around that time. Yeah, I remember just not being big on the story. Like the gameplay was fine. I like Far Cry's gameplay, but the story was like you get kidnapped like 7 or 8 times and they just monologue to you. I'm like, come on, guys, this is not fun. And it just lingers and like it doesn't go anywhere. It has a lot of people like thought a lot of the criticism came from it like not being political or whatnot. I don't really care about that. It just doesn't commit to telling a story that's like anything. It's just kind of like an idea that's not fleshed out. But it looks like they're fleshing this out. So I mean, maybe that's a good
maybe
sign.
they took those criticisms and are turning it around for New Dawn. It's definitely possible.
I'll be excited to play it because it looks fun.
Oh, and speaking of which, they the one thing that did get sort of leaked before, which didn't end up being true, was that Amazon listing had it listed for release the next day. And I was like, you know what? This sounds like a Far Cry thing that they would do. I was like super convinced that they're gonna release it like that night, and then it ends up being February, which
I was so excited if that would have happened. I was gonna like email Ubisoft and get a code like right then and there, but then I was like, oh, never mind. So speaking of post-apocalyptic games, Obsidian's it's not really post-apocalyptic, but it's like made sci-fi, by people. Obsidian's The Outer Worlds, which is almost like a Fallout game, but not. It's set somewhere else in space. I don't really know the specifics. And it's made by the guys who created the original Fallout, and
New Vegas.
Obsidian obviously developed Fallout New Vegas, and this game looks really cool and kind of gives me both a Fallout vibe and a Borderlands vibe.
Okay, yeah, you're the second person who said Borderlands too. Yeah, like I was talking to it with a buddy of mine, and I'm gonna be honest, this was probably my trailer of the show. I'm like so excited for this game, and I'm not even like a huge like Fallout or guy like that, but this just something about the aesthetics and I don't know if you saw the 14-minute gameplay, like it just looked awesome. So me and him were discussing it, and he was like, "This is giving me Borderlands vibes," and I didn't really get that at first, but then as I rewatched it, I sort of got where that humor is coming from, and I think that's just kind of an Obsidian thing too. Like Obsidian games they try to inject their own humor into the games they make, so I think that's where it's coming from. But I get it.
Yeah, and it just has like a visual Fallout look with the dialogue options and stuff, and I didn't watch that gameplay. I've been meaning to. I just haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
I really, really I have strong hopes for that game. Interestingly enough, Obsidian bought by Xbox last month.
Yes.
But it's coming out for PS4. I'm sure that was like a game that's in development ahead of time and contracts were signed or whatnot, so they couldn't like make it Xbox only.
Yeah, I would assume this game
big get, though.
Yeah, I would assume this game had to be worked on for a few years already. So there's no way they were going to lose out on 2/3 of the gaming population because of this deal. But
that would have been awesome for Xbox to get that
definitely.
exclusive.
Yeah. When that trailer played, I was like, man, that is an amazing get for them. Good for Microsoft. And then I see all that logos and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess everyone's getting in on this.
I mean, Xbox has been kind of struggling this generation with worthwhile exclusives, and I don't think anyone can disagree with that. I mean, they've been doing great in other sections, I feel like.
In pretty much every other section, I feel like they've been doing great. Like literally their whole marketing campaign behind Game Pass and everything is just pure brilliance. But the exclusives, I feel like they're just not there.
Yeah, even Crackdown 3 comes out in a couple months. I'm not super hot on that. I love Crackdown 2, which is like not even like the best Crackdown to some people, but I'm like, I love Crackdown 2. I had a lot of fun with that game. But whatever. then we have Halo Infinite, which will probably be cool, and Gears 5 looks pretty good. But
well, that's the thing, right? It's always Halo, Gears, and Forza games. Like that's their trio.
That's their bread and butter. Yeah, which is unfortunate. But I wrote an article about this back in June, and I think it's becoming more and more relevant. I think they're buying a lot of studios and investing in a lot of things to go big right out the gate next gen. And they may, it's kind of foggy right now because we don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of people think PlayStation 5 will launch in 2020 maybe, but then someone from Sony earlier said like 2021 probably. I was thinking if Xbox came out 2020 with their new console, that could be a great way for them to have exclusivity over something like Starfield. If they want to launch that as like a launch title or shortly after, kind of like how Oblivion was released. That didn't come out on PlayStation 3 because it wasn't out yet. I think that would be awesome and a great get, and then they could launch some other great games. I also saw a rumor on Twitter. It was so vague and like just like didn't say much at all. I don't know who it was even from, but apparently someone was saying there was a game that came out on Xbox within the last 4 years that is getting a sequel that will be talked about in 2020. And a lot of people thought Sunset Overdrive. And I guess maybe. I don't know how Insomniac is structured because you have to imagine they're working on Spider-Man 2.
After those sales, I would imagine that's their top priority.
Yeah, I mean, if apparently the rumored Xbox game that they were talking about has been in development for deep development, they said. So I don't know what that means, but you would have to imagine Spider-Man 2. They're trying to get as much done on that as quickly as possible because you got to strike while the iron's hot.
I agree.
What we're talking about? Oh yeah, the Obsidian game. Not much else to say about that, really.
Not much else except that I am super, super pumped for that to come out. So I'm really crossing my fingers that they hit 2019 like it said in the trailer. They're not hit with delays or anything because it looks super good.
Cool. Dragon Age 4. I don't play Dragon Age, but a lot of people made this sound like a really big deal. Do you play Dragon Age?
So I've played all of them. I have not beaten Inquisition.
Okay.
So therefore, I did not get that hashtag that was at the end. I had to look that up to make sure. So I'm one of those. So I mean, it's cool that they're making one. I'm just I'm not their target. Yeah. I mean, maybe before it comes out, I'll finally buckle down and play Inquisition. But we'll see.
Yeah. I knew about this before it got revealed, and so like I didn't know what was in the trailer. All I knew is they were going to reveal a new Dragon Age game, and so I had something written up just like because it makes it easier, right? And so
for sure.
When it finally came up, I'm like, okay, so there was no point of me writing any of this up because I have no idea what any of this means. And I went on Twitter and was like, was that supposed to be Dragon Age? Because it doesn't even say Dragon Age, and they're like, dude, that's just the biggest thing ever. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so I looked up like Dreadwolf or whatever it said, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I had the most like half-assed article up on the site.
I'm pretty sure me and you probably had very, very similar thought processes because when that hashtag came up, I was like, oh, maybe it's not Dragon Age after all. Maybe it's just some other fantasy game.
I was like, what is this? Apparently that game's like super early on. And that's not surprising considering Anthem comes out in like 2 months. Working on that. Apparently that game's like 3 to 4 years away, which I'm shocked that they wanted to do that all over again after what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda.
True.
With how early that got revealed.
I think that team is no longer working on any games, team. Right? Like, like didn't they like shut that team down?
I don't think they're like dead, but like I think they got like they're not making games.
They'll probably move to other divisions or something like that. Like I mean, got, like, it's horrible to talk about people's jobs like that, but boy, I did not like Mass Effect Andromeda.
No, not a good game. I remember I played that game, and I played like the first hour of it, and I'm like, I'm not playing this. I'm sorry. This is not a This is not a good Mass Effect game.
And people are like, oh, you know, it gets really good after 5 hours, and it gets amazing after 10 hours. I'm like,
yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have that kind of time. Like, I know you liked Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but like that game didn't hook me right away.
Oh no, that's
like,
a shame.
No, I need to go back to it because maybe I was just like not in a good mood or whatever. So maybe I just need to go back and play it.
You know what the funny thing is? Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Red Dead are like the two polar opposites right now in like the open world gaming community. And it's funny seeing like people who love Assassin's Creed Odyssey don't really enjoy Red Dead, and the opposite. So like, I know you are like full on Red Dead Redemption 2 fanboy, right?
That game so much. I'd marry it if I could.
So it's possible that it just has this effect where you're like, like maybe you're just having this like aversion to Assassin's Creed because you prefer the more realistic approach, whereas Assassin's Creed is like just completely unrealistic, over the top action, open world gameplay that Ubisoft is known for. But I just find that funny that like you're
definitely right. Yeah. For some reason I don't know what it was. It just wasn't clicking with me.
So full disclosure here, I have actually not beaten Red Dead Redemption 2. I know. I think I'm in chapter 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right. I know. I didn't even like get to like the amazing parts that everyone talks about. But I'm loving Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not that I don't like it. But I think I'm in the middle of that Venn diagram where I can sufficiently enjoy Assassin's Creed 2 and its ridiculousness of open world gameplay and fast and combat and stuff like that. But then also appreciate Red Dead's very slow pace of the gameplay loop, because I gotta tell you, I love walking through those towns and just saying hi to people. Like it's the weirdest thing.
I don't know why it works, but it works. I'm glad you're able to take your time with it, because when I had 5 days to play that game start to finish for my review.
Dear God, I don't even know how you did that. That's impressive.
A lot of school. I get it. Like, I got to get this thing done. And so I think the night before I had to write my review is when I hit the epilogue. And then I'm like, okay, I don't need to finish the epilogue to know how I feel about this game. And then I wrote my review, and oh my God, that was a grueling experience. And like that review was like 3,000 words long, and I didn't even have everything I wanted to say because, one, I was really tired, and two, I was also like, I probably shouldn't make a review longer than 3,000 words. And even you who did the video review, you like cut a lot of it out. Not a lot of it, but you trimmed it down.
I had to. I think it was already like 8 minutes with the stuff being trimmed. It would have been like a half hour long.
Yeah, it was a long thing, and that was kind of why I was like, we should start a podcast so I can just tell everyone how good this game is.
There you go. You can gush about it all you want here.
Such a good game. But yeah, that's a game that deserves to have time. You need to like really digest it and take your time with it. I still loved it, obviously, kind of really, I wouldn't say rushing through it, but I was going at a faster pace than maybe, one, I would have liked, and two, it should be played at. But
well, you also started over again on Xbox, right? Afterwards?
Yeah, I'm playing it over on Xbox right now. I started it over like the day the game came out, because that's when I got my Xbox copy, and I'm on chapter 2 still.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so yeah, I've been playing it probably like a couple times a week, just going back in and enjoying it and biting my teeth into it, and playing the online a little bit too, which is okay.
I actually haven't dived in yet, so
it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
that's not the highest of praise.
It's not bad. It's just they obviously know it's probably not up to the highest of standards because they labeled it as a beta.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have things like gambling in it, which some people have said might be
Oh, you can't play blackjack against other people?
No.
No,
no.
that's a shame.
Yeah. No mini games or anything, which some people have said might be because of real life legal things, like because the game will have microtransactions later.
Okay.
And, you can't online gambling and stuff. Even if it's not for like real money, it's still like illegal, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But also there's also kind of a loophole because the microtransaction structure would be for gold bars, and you have two currencies, which are the gold bars and your dollars. So they could hypothetically still do it if they wanted to, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at GTA Online. Like that game wasn't nearly as great as it is now, or fully featured as it is now when it first came out. Like I remember the first day I tried to log on, like literally for the first 24 hours I couldn't even get on. It was impossible.
I spawned on the side of a mountain on the first day, and then I got kicked out, and I was really upset.
Yeah. So give it time. It'll probably get better. I'm sure.
Definitely.
I mean, I have very little doubt that they're probably going to focus most of their efforts into the online now, because I would assume story DLC is probably out of the question for this game, right?
Yeah. I haven't heard anything. But I don't know. I mean, they obviously. I mean,
if it follows the similar format of GTA, which that also didn't have any story DLC, so
which was supposed to.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah. They announced it, and then it announced as like loosely. They said we are doing story DLC in like a press release or whatever when the game came out, and then they said we'll talk about it more next year or something, and then it just never happened. And they've never really fully gone into why that might be, but I think online just got so much of a priority for them that they just kind of brushed it off. So I don't know.
Makes sense.
Maybe now that they really know what they're doing with this kind of thing, that they could do both. I did hear from someone that Rockstar never wants to have as long of a gap between releases as they did with GTA 5 to Red Dead Redemption 2. So they've done some studio restructuring.
Interesting.
To make sure that there's not another 5 years without a game releasing. But I don't know what that really means. I don't know how long that means for the next game or whatever. I don't know what their next game is. There's rumors that it's Bully 2 based on some like casting calls that leaked, and that's something I heard last year and wrote an article about in 2017 that would be their next game. And then Agent is apparently like dead, maybe, but that it's dead under the name of Agent, but like there might be a chance that it could come back just under a different name.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I need to check on their website to see if they still have the Agent page still up. I'm not gonna do it right now, but it was up there for the longest time with like the PlayStation 3 logo and stuff.
Oh,
and
right,
yeah, it was so weird. So that's Dragon Age 4.
A game we're obviously both very pumped about.
Yeah, I'm the biggest Dragon Age diehard fan. So Crash Team Racing. I have never played Crash Team Racing. That was before my time.
Me and you both, and that was during my time.
Okay. So it's I've heard a lot of good things about this game, though. I know a lot of people like it a lot. It's not there's a lot of kart games out there, right? Like even like there's like a Garfield kart game.
Yes.
There's a Madagascar kart game. There's a Shrek kart game.
No, I think this game got like the proper kart treatment. So
yeah. They took it seriously, and it's coming back as a full release. It'll be like $40. Which is nice, not a $60
and full remake too. And I would assume it's the similar engine that they did with the Insane Trilogy, and it looks gorgeous. Yeah,
it looks really good. And it's coming to Xbox, PlayStation 4, and Switch, and maybe PC. I'd have to double check that.
The Insane Trilogy didn't, though, right?
Oh, Did it not? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just consoles.
I don't think it did either. So I'll just assume it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that looks fun. I'll definitely play that. Comes out in June. It's getting some new content, I think. God, maybe I should have pulled this up. Like I said, this is our first episode. I wrote a whole article about it, but it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I was.
I mean,
exhausted.
all I know for sure is that it will have the same modes that the original game had. So like all the original stuff will be there. I just don't know if it's going to have anything extra, which it might. So.
Yeah, I know it does have new stuff. I just don't know what the new stuff is. But obviously online functionality. It'll have online. I know that much. And I'm pretty sure the first game didn't, because I don't know if that was on a platform that would have had that.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, that looks fun. Looks cute. I'll play that. Good Switch game. I'm not a big Mario Kart fan either. I gotta be honest.
So I not like a huge fan. I like Super Smash Brothers. I appreciate the series. I own it, and it's one of the games that like my daughter and I like to play together, because it's a game that she can grasp and understand how to play. So in that context, I like it. But yeah, like I wouldn't. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh my god, a new Mario Kart's out, got to get it day one. So
yeah. All right. So it looks like there's new carts, tracks, and some skins and stuff. So nothing too crazy, but makes it worthwhile for fans who want more of that game. I know there's a big cult following behind it. That's all there really is to say about that.
I agree.
So let's just jump into some of the moments at the show itself, because I don't think there's many other big games I can think of that were talked about. Rage 2 got a release date coming out in May.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping a little bit earlier for that, but
so was I.
Yeah,
but May's a good time too. So that was the only other big thing. I'm excited for Stanley Parable to come to consoles too. I never played it.
Oh yeah, and with new stuff too. You never actually played the PC version?
No.
It's trippy. It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I've seen some videos. It looks really funny, so I'm excited to play that.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of Portal and stuff, so I'll be interested in jumping into that. And next year, I don't think they gave a specific date, just 2019. So the some of the moments of the show, Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously, kind of a lot of people expected it, but it swept a lot of the awards. Didn't win Game of the Year, but it won.
But it did win. It won like best music, right, or best soundtrack.
Yep. Best performance. Best. I should look. I'm gonna look.
So I mean, again, maybe it's because I didn't beat it. I was honestly expecting God of War to take the soundtrack. And I know you actually tweeted something about the soundtrack, right? Because you said it was like super amazing.
God. Yeah. So I guess I don't think you're far enough to
truly appreciate it.
Yeah, there's like they played a lot of the music that's featured in the game they had a performance.
Yeah.
All those songs, those are in the game at pivotal story moments.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, that's what you mentioned. You were like, I want to give examples of why these songs are too good, but you couldn't because they were like spoiler. Yeah, that's what it was.
There's a lot of moments like that. It's very reminiscent of like the far away Mexico music from the first game.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they do a lot of that, and they had like Willie Nelson and D'Angelo and some other pretty substantial artists come in and record original songs for the game. And so they took it very seriously, and then on top of that, the score is really good. Like there's some good music beats, like score beats during missions and story moments. There's one that I won't talk about, but there's some good stuff towards the end of the game that I was like, holy shit.
I mean, I believe it. I usually soundtracks for me don't make or break a game, but they certainly enhance it. So I totally get it.
Yeah. It won best narrative, best performance, best audio, best score. and was nominated for Game of the Year, Action Adventure, Art Direction, and Game Direction.
Okay, I mean, 4 out of 50% of the stuff it won, so pretty darn good.
Yeah, so I mean, it won pretty much. Even some of the ones I didn't think it would win. I thought Yuri. I don't know how to say his last name.
Yuri Lowenthal.
Yuri Lowenthal. I thought he would win Best Performance because
he was a great Spider-Man.
I mean, like, just balancing the wit and humor with some of the really big, hardcore, heart-wrenching stuff towards the end of the game there.
Right.
Like,
not to mention also recording most of the lines twice because once when you're swinging and once when you're just walking, that's insane.
An awesome detail. Yeah. So I'm a little shocked, but Roger Clark, he deserves it too. Arthur Morgan's like an awesome character, and I don't know how much you'll agree with that right now, but I mean, as that game goes on, that character is really, really great.
I mean, I already like Arthur right now where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've really had any sort of problem with him at all from the get-go. So
okay, good.
I can only assume it gets better from where I'm at. So
yeah. I remember when I started the game, I was pretty concerned. I love Rockstar's games, always have. But I was concerned that he was going to be a big asshole. And
yes. I think that was a lot of people concerned. Yeah,
like like as great as that can be for some characters, I'm not particularly interested in playing an 80-hour game where the main character is just mean to everyone.
Right.
So it was nice to see, even from the get-go, even though he is mean, he's got some sarcastic humor to him. He's got some dry wit, and even early on, you see that he cares. Like when he takes Jack fishing and stuff.
Yes.
That's a great moment.
It is.
And more of those moments come as you play the game, and towards the end, he really grows as a character, and he's one of my favorite characters in gaming, I would say, which is something I never expected
super
to say.
High praise.
Yeah, like honestly, it's not even just because I'm like high on this game. Like it just they really nailed it in a way that I don't think I would have ever expected them to, because there were a lot of rumors that the game was in trouble at some point in development, and they had to like rework the game and scrap some stuff, and I'm like, this game, I really hope it's not bad. Especially because Leslie Benzies, who was like producer at Rockstar and then got forced out, he kind of allegedly helped save Red Dead Redemption 1 from being a shit show.
Oh man.
Because that game had some turmoil as well, all the way up until like the very end of development. Like he came in and he really like apparently saved that game. I obviously that's from like emails and court documents and stuff, and it's hard to tell how much of that is like completely true or just saying to say. But I was pleasantly surprised by how damn good that game was, and how Arthur Morgan is just really wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that leads to God of War winning Game of the Year after winning, I think, 2 other awards, maybe 3.
It definitely won the one which I 100% think it deserved, which was the game direction, because if that game wasn't going to win it for game direction, then that thing had to have been rigged, because the fact that whole game is a single unbroken camera shot, like, come on, like that's amazing.
It is a game with vision and a lot of purpose, and it's Cory Barlog. You can tell this was a really personal project for him.
He's super, super passionate. I mean, he even in like past interviews about the game, like he would sometimes even just like tear up talking about something from the game, just how passionate he was about it. Like he was married to this game for sure.
And that game, like, we gave 3 10 out of 10s this year at GameZone. We gave Red Dead, Spider-Man, and God of War, and I stand by all 3 of those. You reviewed God of War.
For sure.
And I completely agree with that review. That was a game where when I started this year, there weren't, for quite some time even, like, there were a couple of good games last year that I really enjoyed, like Wolfenstein and The Evil Within 2. But other than that, I was kind of having, like, just not into games really. But God of War, like, really hit me hard in a place like, this game is really special. Both in storytelling, gameplay, which is really simple stuff. I feel like the gameplay's pretty simple, but like it executes it in such a satisfying way.
Yeah, feels very good.
Yeah. Visuals, world building, all that, just everything about it was spectacular.
And even just a change to that game from like the past games, because the past games are so different. They're like Devil May Cry games, but this is like a full on like third person action RPG. Like really, really awesome like direction that they completely like pulled a 180 on it, and it worked out so well.
I think it's not a stretch to say that the old games feel kind of juvenile in a way.
A little bit, yeah.
In a way that they're very edgy with lots of blood, gore. You're having sex with women all the time and stuff and all this stuff. But then you've cut to God of War 2018. After when did God of War 3 come out? That was like 2011, right?
Oh God, yeah, that was a while ago. It was definitely PS3, but I forget what year.
2010 or 2011. So like 7 or 8 years later, and there's just this radical shift. It feels mature in the sense that I feel like that's an evolution for both Kratos and the series. Like he has matured as a person.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And it's really, what they did with that game is something really wonderful. And I can't wait to see what they do with the sequel for that game. That is my most anticipated sequel probably ever.
Yes, I agree. So with that said, I'm definitely glad it won a Game of the Year, because I mean, and I might be a little partial because that's a game I obviously finished, and Red Dead is one I didn't finish. So maybe that has some say in that, but overall, it's just like, my God, what a ride from literally start to finish. Like, it starts strong and it seriously holds that tempo throughout the entirety of the game. And even though I would say the ending, it died down a little bit, because maybe this is me going from like the past games where like every boss fight is so over the top. I think I was expecting a little more at the end.
Really?
Just a little bit.
I was losing my mind.
It was a cool fight. It was a cool fight. But when they finally go to that next realm, I thought, oh man, okay, so something's gonna happen here. And it was just like this quiet personal moment, which I appreciated, don't get me wrong. But it was just like such a weird thing for this series specifically, which usually ends on like these like world ending battles usually. So
yeah, I think that might be like a pacing thing, because they bring that big battle before the ending, right? You know, have that big battle. That battle was awesome, where you're like falling off of the whatever it was, the world serpent, and that's what you're on, right?
Yeah, and you're fighting maybe it's a dragon. Yeah, and you're fighting that like resurrected frost giant or something.
Yes, that's what it was. And like Atreus is shooting the arrows as you're like holding on to what's his face. Oh my God.
And what a great dynamic between those two, like Kratos and Atreus. Like, you know, like games like this where you, The Last of Us, I guess, is a good example, even though that dynamic was good too. But usually people are really wary of games where you have like a companion that you have to like keep an eye on all the time. But like they pulled it off. Like himself. Yeah, Atreus is pretty badass for a little kid.
And yeah, they made it really smart to where like you can just like tap a button and like he'll just kind of like go off, right? Like he just shoots his arrows and stuff, and that makes it pretty easy to make sure everything's going all right, and help him feel like he's not useless.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you can, yeah, he like perfectly combos into like Kratos's moves. It's awesome.
Yes, it's great. I can't wait to see what they do with that game. The little things that they set up in this game for a sequel with Thor and
that little teaser at the end.
yes, that's gonna be. I don't know what's going on there, but that's gonna be crazy. With the stuff on the wall at the end.
Yes.
Potentially Kratos being the world serpent, maybe. Who knows?
Or Atreus.
Yeah. And Loki, and oh my god, that game's I want it so badly, and I have no idea how long it's going to be before we get that game. I also feel really bad for Cory Barlog because he has to make this all come together.
Well, the one silver lining about that is that they had to start from scratch, right, with the first game. At least now they have the bones of the game in there. They have the engine and stuff like that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the next game not only will take a lot shorter to complete, but it'll hopefully be a lot easier for the team as well.
Sure.
So we'll see. But I have high hopes for that sequel for sure.
Yeah, that game's gonna be unlike any other sequel ever made. Honestly, I really believe that. They also had Phil Spencer, Reggie, and Sean Layden on stage together at the beginning of the show, which was really nice to see.
I was love that.
They would hug, but they didn't hug.
They did not hug, but it was still very cool to see all three of those like in the same room. Like that's something. It's weird. It's something I've always like thought about. Like I'm always like, man, do those guys like ever go out for drinks together? Like, do they actually talk?
Yeah, really.
Or do they legit hate each other? And maybe they do. And like who knows? Or maybe they do. Maybe they are friendly. Who knows? But like I like that Jeff like was able to organize all three of them on stage. Even for it was like a brief thing that they did, but it was nice. It was nice. I liked it.
I doubt that they hate each other because like they're just doing business stuff, right? Like it's not like any of them have ever like attacked each other.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there's any personal stakes in it to an extent, but like they seem pretty nice. I wish I would like to see more of that kind of stuff in the future, either at the Game Awards or somewhere else. And I'm sure Phil Spencer and Reggie are at least somewhat on good terms, given how
that's right.
They've been working together with
Xbox and Switch,
crossplay and stuff. Yeah, so that's been nice. Not much else to say about that. No wins for Spider-Man.
Yeah,
very sad.
Womp.
I was hoping that would win at least Best Action Adventure, because I feel like that is through and through an action adventure game, just like everything about it. But that went to God of War, which whatever.
Also well deserved, but yes. I get it. Yeah. It was weird that such a high profile game for Sony, especially that, like I said before, like it was their highest selling game of the year or like ever in like a really short span of time. It's weird how those two don't correlate, right? Like it can be the highest selling game of like the month or whatever, but still not win any awards. But I mean, obviously everyone who's played it knows it's a fantastic Spider-Man game. Yeah.
One thing I always have found weird, this isn't exclusive to the Game Awards, it's just an award show thing in general. They have, movies and games, they'll win like in every category they're nominated in, and then they won't win the one big award. Like this happened at the Oscars with like La La Land. It won like tons of awards, and then when it got to Best Picture, Moonlight won. I mean, granted, like La La Land won for like 5 minutes or whatever, right? But
right.
But it was kind of like, well, that's interesting. Like you're the best in all of these different things, but like I guess they don't take like it being the best. They don't break it down like that for like the big award. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Red Dead has all these wins, but it doesn't count for
right.
being Game of the Year. Again, I'm not mad. I love God of War. The game's great. My pick was Red Dead Redemption 2, but God of War was my second pick, and I was like happy with either one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like Spider-Man was also like tough competition.
Yeah, it really was though. It really was.
You do, right? Like it was just a good year for a lot of games. Those three specifically. Like I said, we gave 10s to all of them, to all three of them. There's really, it was really a good year, I feel like, for the most part. Even if some games didn't capture me as much as they did for everyone else, there's quite a few good games. So with that said, do you have anything else you want to talk about with the Game Awards?
Well, I think in general, I'm actually probably impressed with the award show as a whole this year more so than any other year. I feel like the pacing, I mean, it was super long. It was longer than I expected it would be, but I still feel like the pacing was good. There wasn't really any weird downtime, and sure, there was some corny moments, but I would say the ratio of good presenter versus a corny presenter was very good. I feel like Jeff Keighley like really tightened up this thing for like year to year. Like, for example, we no longer have the Chic Hydro Man or whatever it was.
That's true.
Which was like a meme of last year.
I was very glad there was nothing like that this year because
that was super cringy. But I'm saying, right, like I feel like he's learning year over year what people like, what they don't like, streamlining it all, making it all just super perfectly paced, putting performances here and there of all the music and stuff like that. Like it has really evolved into like a legitimate award show. And I'm not saying it wasn't legitimate before, but like if you were to sit down someone who's not really into gaming right now and like just watch it, like they would be 100% convinced that what they're watching is like a legitimate award show and not like gaming related.
Yeah. So I agree.
I think he did an amazing job now. Yeah.
Yeah. I know he gets a lot of crap for it technically being like an award, like like adverts more than anything, but it's also like they gotta fund it somehow. It's not on TV, so like they gotta fund it. And
which it actually started off on Spike TV when it first aired, which is super weird.
Yeah, oh my god, and that was bad then.
Yes,
like that was really bad.
Yes,
it's way better now as it is. Like, I was watching a clip a few weeks ago of the 2010 VGAs, which is when a bunch of great games came out, like Call of Duty Black Ops, Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect 2, and some other stuff. They had like a category for best voice performance. The nominees were Neil Patrick Harris as Spider-Man in like a iffy Spider-Man game, like not great, not terrible. Rob Wiedoff as John Marston, Gary Oldman as Reznov in Call of Duty Black Ops, and the guy who played Mason in Call of Duty Black Ops, and someone else. And Neil Patrick Harris won. And I was like, you kidding me? He's not even the best Spider-Man. What is this? I was shocked. I was just like appalled, and I'm like, what? John Marston's considered one of the best characters in gaming. Gary Oldman is an Oscar-winning actor. I don't understand.
Maybe people were coming off that high of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, that must have been it. Also, Neil Patrick Harris was hosting that year, so
all
right. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not gonna say anything, but I think there's something going on.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I call it like a legitimate award show, and I believe that. I totally believe that it is. But let's also call it for what it is. It is 100% still like a 3-hour-long press conference. Like,
yes,
people are there for the reveals and the trailers. I don't think anyone truly watches it to find out who won.
Only people there for the awards are the devs.
Yes, exactly.
I like watching it for the awards, but like, that's not what I tune in for. We have award shows like that, like DICE and the BAFTAs and stuff. They do that, and they don't have those reveals or anything. The reveals are what make it interesting, and it gets people to recognize the developers and stuff. So I think it's
which I think is
a
super
good
important.
idea. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was a good show. Better than last year. I was shocked there was no Death Stranding. I was convinced we were gonna get a release date or something.
His old buddy didn't show up this year.
No, I don't know what's going on. I guess he's just really trying to finish that thing as quickly as he can. And I don't know when Sony's gonna show more of those games that they have in development, because they didn't do a PlayStation experience. They aren't gonna be at E3. I assume after E3 they'll have some sort of event maybe where they go and they talk. But even then, I don't know. They have to do it. I wonder what they're releasing in 2019. I wonder if there's anything coming out in 2019.
I'm just curious what their overall strategy is in 2019, because if they're not going to be there, do they have a PSX plan for that year because they didn't this year? It's just I'm very curious what their release strategy is. And part of me gets it because Sony gets a lot of flack for showing stuff that's early and that takes forever to release, and I totally get that. That's totally understandable, and it's probably why I think this year specifically I was a little let down by their E3 presentation, because I'm the kind of guy who actually kind of enjoys those early reveals, and they only showed really four games in depth. That granted, I'm interested in all four of them. It was 4, right? Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
That samurai game, the Ghost of Tsushima, looked amazing. Awesome. But it was such a weird format, and that whole scene changing thing where the press had to walk from. What a weird show. So maybe they need a year break to get back to where they used to be before. I mean, maybe they're okay, within the next year we know when games are going to release, so maybe the year after we can have solid release dates and have even more to show. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I think soon they'll begin talking about the PlayStation 5, and that's when they'll really have a lot more to say, because those games are in development. I'm sure there's some PS4 stuff in development right now that they don't want to talk about just because it's early on or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what to think. They've put themselves in an interesting situation where it's going to be interesting to watch them figure it all out. I'm sure that they have some sort of plan, but I'm interested to see if that plan is actually worthwhile. Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all there really is to say.
Yeah. It was a good show.
Yeah. Are you playing anything right now? What are you playing?
Right now, I am, as usual, I'm knee deep in Warframe. That is my drug right now.
Yeah.
I've recently picked it up halfway through this year, and when I'm not reviewing something, I always go back to it, which is I've always wanted to be obsessed with a game, and I never really was. Every time I play a game, I beat it and I'm done with it. I never usually come back.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Warframe's got me, man. It's a good game.
Yeah. Are you playing Super Smash Brothers?
I'm playing Super Smash. Yep, I'm playing a little bit of that, and obviously, like we were saying, I do definitely want to finish Red Dead 2.
Yes.
But that Warframe's got that Fortuna release coming on Monday to console, so
there you go.
It's just going to delay it even longer.
I get it. That's happened to me before.
Yeah. What about you?
I am playing Just Cause 4 right now for review.
Oh yeah. Well, embargo's been up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been out since Tuesday.
What are you thinking? Is it fun? Is it
It's fine.
All right.
It's the story. I mean, as expected, it's a Just Cause game, so the story isn't very good. It's fine. It's
understandable.
It's nothing great. The chaos is fun.
What are you playing it on? PS4 or Xbox?
PS4.
And how is the frame rate?
Frame rate, it's fine. Sometimes it dips. Sometimes it's totally fine.
Okay, because I remember when Just Cause 3 came out.
Yeah,
that was my biggest gripe on the PS4 is that it literally slowed down to a crawl, and that game's always chaotic. So
yeah,
it was rough. So I'm glad they at least seem to have somewhat optimized it for this release.
It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's not like you're constantly feeling like you're playing this thing on a Windows 98 computer.
So you're
or
saying
something.
it's not a slideshow?
No, it's not a slideshow.
Okay, great.
It runs pretty well.
Okay.
For the most part. The issue lies mostly in the visuals. Like it looks really ugly. Like,
oh, really?
There's a lot of like weird motion blur that you can't turn off. There's textures aren't great. They don't look fully finished. The game kind of looks like it's a little outdated. Character models look funny. The lighting is off. It's very bizarre to look at.
All right.
And that's a problem when you're watching like a cutscene and stuff, and you're like, God, everything looks really hard to watch. It's just like it does not look good. It plays pretty well. Like the shooting is a lot better than past games. I usually never like to shoot a gun in that game, which is a problem.
Yeah.
But in Just Cause 4, I have a lot of fun shooting my guns. The cars and stuff handle really weird. Helicopters are just awful to fly. But it's a mixed bag.
Okay.
I don't think it's a terrible game. I don't think it's a great game.
Okay.
I'll probably have a review up later this week. But yeah, I think it's got issues. It's got some saving graces. But
those tornadoes though.
Those are interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're what you expect, right? Like,
okay.
They cause chaos.
All right.
That's always fun to see, but it's moments like that, like when stuff just like is almost like cinematic in a way, but it's totally unscripted, and things just go. Certain sequences of events just happen, and it goes. I can't even put it into words. I'm struggling. I was listening to like the James Bond Casino Royale soundtrack while I was playing it, and just like this series of events where these helicopters were following me, and I tethered them together, and they blew up, and this song was playing, and it was really awesome. It's moments like that that are like, all right, this game has something.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think I'm playing anything else other than occasionally dipping in and out of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Do you see yourself beating it a second time on the Xbox?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of like you definitely do? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to shoot for 100% completion too.
Holy moly.
Yeah. I didn't do many of the side quests on PS4 specifically so I could do them on Xbox. But yeah, I'll be just tearing that game apart at some point. But yeah, that's really all I'm playing. I'm probably gonna get some games for Christmas that I missed this year. Like, I want to play that Astrobot Rescue Mission. I don't really know much about it.
Oh my god! You have a PSVR?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, Astrobot is perfect. That and Beat Saber, man. Amazing games you gotta play. Too.
Yeah. That Smash Brothers, I'll probably play. Don't know if I'll like it, but I'll play it. And yeah, that's about it. I saw a couple movies this weekend that I'm gonna do some reviews on. I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Good.
Which is fantastic.
Nice.
I love that movie so much.
Wow, awesome.
I think that really captures what Stan Lee wanted to do with with Spider-Man as like an icon, like a figure, you know. Anyone can be under the mask and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really beautiful message.
Awesome.
I'll have a review of that up probably tomorrow, I'm hoping, so Monday. And Bumblebee, which was really good.
Oh, okay, good. I was wondering where you're going with that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like that movie. That was a good movie.
Have you seen like are you up to speed with all the Transformers movies?
I didn't see the Mark Wahlberg ones.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, none of those are relevant because this is basically a reboot almost. Like it's set in the past.
Yeah. I just want to know, like, in comparison to
yeah.
like the older stuff, if you enjoyed this more.
Yeah.
But okay.
I enjoyed it more than the Michael Bay ones that I did see, the first 3 or whatever that he did. Like those movies gave me headaches.
Yeah.
And they're very incoherent and incompetent, and this movie has a lot of heart and humanity to it, and like there's a lack of action in a good way. Like there's action, there's plenty of it, but like the movie starts with an action sequence on Cybertron, and that was a kick-ass scene. The action is really good, and it's actually a lot more focused than Michael Bay ever did. So like basically, they just made it look really easy to make a good Transformers movie, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, now I'm even more excited about that. That's awesome. Because that trailer, the first trailer, or maybe there were 2 already. Well, I mean, either way, those trailers looked really good already, and I was like, I didn't want to fall for it because I usually do with these Transformers movies. I do too. And then I would end up usually being disappointed. But I'm glad to hear that you enjoyed this one. That's good.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie The Edge of 17?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
It's like that with a Transformer. That's how I described it.
Okay. It's the same actress, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's kind of thematically, it's like that. It's a little more restrained because it's not an R-rated movie, but it has a lot of similar ideas, and it's got a lot of heart, a lot of charm. Bumblebee is hilarious and adorable and cute, and there's a lot of great moments in it, and I would love to see a sequel eventually. I think they've already started working on one.
I think they got plans for more movies, right? In this like new Transformer verse. So
so I'm excited to see those. They did a really good job on this.
Very nice.
And that's all I have to say. You got anything?
Yeah, I barely go to the movies nowadays. So.
Okay.
So sadly, no, nothing for me.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be the end of our first episode then. Basically, we'll probably do this maybe once a week. We'll see. We're going to try to keep it at least somewhat regular. And we'll get a name for it eventually. And
definitely.
I'll maybe get like an idea from Twitter. So if you want to suggest Twitter names or names for the show on Twitter, you can suggest them to me at Cade_Onder, CADE_ONDER. You can follow me. I tweet a lot, and you can.
He does. I can vouch for that.
Yes, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. A lot of people at school make fun of me for it. They're like, Cade, you tweet way too much. You gotta stop, buddy. I'm like, this is my job.
It's true.
You got anything you want to plug?
I mean, my Twitter is at my name, at Michael Splechta, Michael SPLECHTA. I don't really tweet a whole lot, and I like a whole lot of Warframe stuff. So if you feel like seeing a lot of that, give me a follow. But I'm nowhere near as interesting as good old Cade here.
Oh, thank you. You can also follow the GameZone Twitter. We just post news and stuff there. Nothing too crazy. But if you want to stay up to date with the news and our reviews, I also tweet out my reviews. I retweet a lot of all of it. So that is at GameZone Online, exactly as it sounds. We're on Facebook too. GameZone. We're verified. That's very cool.
Very official.
Very official. We're not verified on Twitter. I don't think I have a way to control that though, because I'm not the one who like owns the account. I run it, but I don't own it. So maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Keep the dream alive.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Like I said, we'll have reviews up for Just Cause 4, Into the Spider-Verse, and Bumblebee this week. I don't think there's anything else that I can think of that we're doing. I'll also be posting like some holiday gift guides So if you need help for shopping for someone who likes movies or games, I'll be doing some stuff for that, and a 2019 most anticipated games list with games like Anthem, Resident Evil 2, stuff like that.
Perfect.
All right. Well, until next time, thank you for listening, and adios.
All right, catch you next time.